NCA is our idea of creating a soft landing for Zimbabwe, given the conflict, the attrition, the inertia, the mediocrity, the insanity, and the noise in the national discourse at the present moment. You've got an army, for instance, and a securocrat that definitely wants to take over. You've got the huge divisions in Zanu-PF, where for all intents and purposes, there is a civil war. You've got a weak and divided opposition political movement. You've got a weak and divided civic society that is totally disempowered due to absence of resources and absence of ideas. So for all intents and purposes, we are a conflict and conflicted country. So the NCA is a moratorium on elections, allowing the country to have a soft landing, allowing a transition from the old order to a new order, allowing a situation where for 2-3 years you have a negotiated inclusive process where you bring all the actors together to attend to certain key state functions that are a precondition to a sustainable democratic Zimbabwe. So it follows that if it's an inclusive negotiated process, the minute that an agreement is reached, surely, just like the GNU, a constitutional amendment or an act of parliament would have to be legislated to bring the NTA into being. So to me, legalism is the least of our concerns. The real concern is, are we able to reach an agreement? I don't think we will be able to reach agreement as Robert Mugabe is alive, because ZANU can maintain a bravado behind him. But you and I know that this house is broken. This house is divided. This house is suffocating with mediocrity, with inertia and indifference. But surely the economy is not sustainable. We cannot have a situation where the government is spending 97% of its resources on one item, the wage bill. You cannot have domestic debt that is now 6% of GDP, over 50% of GDP. You cannot have a situation where we are now collecting less than what we are spending, and the government is no longer able to pay salaries. You cannot have a situation where 79% of your people are living in extreme poverty, surviving on less than 35 cents a day. A solution, and a smart solution, have to be found, and hence the proposal, which is gaining much currency, of a National Transitional Authority. The NTA must avoid the mistakes of the GNU. At the end of the day, the GNU was a ceasefire pact to reach some form of a modicum of stability following the turbulent stolen election of 2008. So the GNU was addressing one issue, the issue of legitimacy. The crisis facing Zimbabwe goes beyond legitimacy. Yes, legitimacy is a crisis, but so too the economy, so too the broken down social contract, so too the dysfunctional electoral system, so too the dysfunctional and liquidated social services. So the NTA is different from the GNU in that it's programmatic, it's signposted, and it's intended to address the fundamental issues that are arresting this country, which are beyond elections, which are beyond legitimacy.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.